stand up for yourself. Make your working conditions better. Join a union, no matter what union it is, but join a union and better yourself and better your fellow workers.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We're going to jump right into our interview with Chuck Davenport. Chuck Davenport is the Region 8 Servicing Director for the United Auto Workers Union. Chuck, welcome back to the program. It's great to have you.
Good morning, Jacob. Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate you taking the time this morning. We had some, we wanted to bring you on to talk about the good news out of Ultium in Spring Hill, Tennessee. But before we get to that, can you just lay out the general kind of poor state of working conditions in the EV industry and talk about how companies are trying to use this transition away from internal combustion engines to degrade working conditions and why it's so important that workers like those at Ultium in Spring Hill and at Bossk in Kentucky are standing up?
It's very important. You know, these big three companies are teaming with these foreign companies in foreign countries, and they're coming over here for the technology. But the problem is they don't have OSHA standards from where they're at. They don't have regular working conditions, work rules. It's really concerning of some of the things, especially when it comes to health and safety of the workplace. We were very fortunate that we were the second Ultium sales plant. We still have some things that we're working through, but the very first Ultium sales plant in Lordstown, Ohio had a lot more accidents, a lot more issues with OSHA. And so because of that, I think they straightened up some of their stuff that they needed to straighten up when they got to Spring Hill. And it's, even though we, are always looking at health and safety, these are not traditional plants. These are not plants that there's no plant like this Ultium sales plant that General Motors has anywhere in the United States. It's totally different. The work conditions are different. It's a lot of automation, a lot of things that they use to make these cells that can be volatile, that you don't see in a regular assembly plant. And so it's very important that we follow all these health and safety standards, and so it keeps the people safe, so they come to work and they're able to go home the same way they got there for that day.
Exactly. The state of working conditions in these plants, like you said, are significantly degraded from what the previous standard was, and the level of pay is also significantly less than what you would make in a big three, internal combustion engine plant. Can you talk to us about like kind of the disparities in wages and and like compensation generally in these two different kinds of plants?
Sure. It's I know some of the people that were on our bargaining committee, when they applied to hire in here in Spring Hill in December of 23, they were quoted a wage of $20.27. But because the Ultium Sales 1 in Lordstown was coming up under the national agreement, they were really trying to buy the employees here in Spring Hill and offering them the wages under the national agreement even before they got unionized. So they did that basically almost 9 months early. So when one of our bargaining committee come in, he actually came to work in January of 24. He went from 2027 that he was quoted to 2691 before he even started. So, and a lot of people, thank goodness, they recognize that the company wasn't just giving them increased wages because they liked them. They were giving them increased wages because they didn't want them to be unionized. Because we are very fortunate here. We have over, now that we've got the 1,000 people at Ultium, we have over 5,500 union jobs here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And companies see the news, they see, the employees see, hey, the company right down the street from me just got a union contract. They just got a ratification bonus. They got improved health care. And so all those people that were at Ultium a lot of them had maybe worked in some of these other unionized plants that, they just want to try to get into what they thought might be a GM job. And so they transferred. So they automatically knew then the conditions wasn't the same. The work rules wasn't the same. The company was changing things every day if they wanted to, and there was nothing they could do about it until they stood up. And, we talked previously, we were able to organize this 1,000 people within 7 weeks, which was
Right.
a great job for the internal committee to work with us and the local union here, because, we actually literally had to go around and get those people to sign cards, and because they agreed to a card check. But to do that, we ended up signing, I think the head count in the plant is 930 right now, and we have about 860 something cards. So we're over 90% unionized,
Wow.
and we continue to work on those. And we know that some of them, for whatever their family or whatever, don't believe in unions, and we might not get them all, but we want to get as many of them as we can, and we strive to do that, working with it every day. We don't alienate the people that's not a union member. We're still trying to pull them into the fold to show them, and they do know. I mean, it's just like they're already seeing the benefits of a union contract. I mean, they just got paid yesterday $3,000 lump sum payment that come out of negotiations of the contract.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Yeah, it's really exciting to hear about it, and I'm sure it's really cool being an Ultium worker, seeing, literally the fruits of organizing and the benefits of that in a big fat check immediately after finishing and so after finishing negotiating this local agreement. And so that's the recent news. In the last couple of weeks, workers at Ultium cells in Spring Hill, Tennessee have ratified a local addendum to the national contract. They immediately, when they unionized sometime last year, they immediately fell under the national contract that the UAW has with Ultium. And so if there's anything that you haven't told us about some of the benefits that they got from the national contract, I'd be interested in hearing those.
Sure.
But talk to us about what are some of the things that they won in the recent local addendum that was just negotiated and ratified in the last couple of weeks, in addition to that nice $3,000 ratification check.
Well, one thing we did, we brought them up to speed with the national agreement when we were recognized on September 9th. The 401k increase that they hadn't received because they wasn't technically all the way up. They hadn't done their local agreement. So from September 9th until they transferred into GM employees, we've also had that Ultium and GM has put in 10% of their wages into a 401 that is consistent with a national agreement. But on top of that, because of that time period, there was also 8.8% increase in funds. They got the interest on top of that. But one of the things is, it's not all about the money. They have good health and safety language. They have a procedure if something's not right to file a complaint on health and safety. They're in the process. We won 4 UAW health and safety reps. So every shift will have a UAW safety rep in conjunction with the safety reps from the company. So we have a seat at the table that we can bring up health and safety concerns. We have they just won benefits reps to help them with their new benefits plans that they have. We have EAP reps in case somebody has something going on in their life that we won. Things that they have now is they were told when they first hired was, hey, we'll put you on this shift, and after we get acclimated and trained, you'll be able to move around. Well, that never happened. So they have avenues to transfer from shift to shift, department to department. They just now have where they can post for open jobs that they've not been able to do for 2 years. It was a supervisor putting their friends or who they liked into these open jobs. Now they have stuff. They have ways to move around. They have an actual framework that they can hold management accountable, and they're able to take better jobs with inside the plant or get off night shift to go to day shift if their seniority holds them. They have a seniority language now that they have to honor. They have overtime language that equalizes their overtime in their departments. That is not pick and choose who the supervisor wants to get extra hours. So all of that is great things that come with a new contract, and it's interesting to see in all the ratification meetings. Had a lot of interested people asking good questions that some of them knew about working under a union contract and others had no idea. So they see the benefits, just like last week they posted for shift preferences. So this is the first time that people are going to be able to use their seniority to move from shift to shift. Right. And that's a big thing, that affects people's home lives.
Yep, absolutely. And, so much of what you just said, really sticks out to me as this should be just kind of a basic human decency sort of question, right? I mean, if I'm running a company and I have a better position that comes up, it seems to me the decent thing to not do it because I like Billy and I don't like Joe, but rather to have some sort of system that allocates these better jobs in a fair way by seniority or something, in particular by seniority, because and people like to try to lambaste seniority and try to make seniority seem like a bad thing, but seniority is really important and should absolutely be respected, because what seniority means is that you have given that many years of your life to this company. And so, yeah, if I have given 20 years of my life to a company, particularly if those 20 years were like my best years, I worked for a company from when I was 25 to 45, I should get some freaking perks for that, even if I'm a little bit less efficient than some young gun when coming in at 25, 24 years old, because I came in at 25, 24 years old doing a whole bunch of really fast work and working really quickly, but I also sacrificed the best years of my life to this company, and absolutely I should get something for that. And that just, it's just a human decency sort of thing, but these companies won't do it if we don't make them, and that's why it's so important to unionize. And so, Chuck Davenport, UAW Region 8 Servicing Representative, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about this great win that y'all had at Ultium Cells over in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that you told us about Ultium or anything else that you have going on before we let you go?
Yeah, we got a lot of contracts going on right now. We actually organized the sanitation company inside Ultium.
That's right.
That is the same company that works at Spring Hill Manufacturing, the GM plant. So we're very close to getting them a local agreement that's going to be a game changer for them, as well as in the Spring Hill battery plant, which is attached to the assembly plant where Ultium sends the sales over. We're actually we have unionized Logistics Insight, and we're in talks with their first agreement. So a lot of good things are going on here in Spring Hill that people see the value of being a union member. And what I would say to anybody listening to your show, where it's anywhere in the country, is stand up for yourself. Make your life better. Make your working conditions better. Join a union, no matter what no matter what union it is, but join a union and better yourself and better your fellow workers.
Absolutely. Chuck Davenport, UAW Region 8 Servicing Representative, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jacob. Have a good day.
Absolutely.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.